Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? Oh, good Lord, are things shaking up over there in Iraq? 2/3 of the tripartite alliance, made up of Sadr, Halabasi, and Barzani, have now resigned. Sadr resigned first, and now we have Halabasi that is resigning. So what does this mean for Iraq? Things could get a little crazy. Before we get into that, do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I certainly do appreciate it. If you're thinking about buying gold and silver, head on over to our friends at Money Metals Exchange. The link is down below in the description. If you're a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code PIMPY, P-I-M-P-Y, and you will get a free half ounce of silver. So here we go. It says a deputy reveals the day of the official announcement of the State Administration Alliance. So it looks like an official announcement's about to come. Al-Jamali sent a statement to the news. What prevented the official announcement from the presence of some related matters, such as the necessity of agreeing on the distribution of the next government, as well as the management of the stage under exceptional circumstances. The announcement will be within the next 2 days, and officially indicating that most media offices and leaders have announced they're joining the coalition. So whenever you see that it says media offices are agreeing to join the coalition, it makes you wonder how unbiased your media really is. So the Democrats, what are they saying? We are going to agree with the union on a candidate for the presidency. So it looks like the two Kurdish parties are agreeing on a candidate. Is that even possible? So it said a representative of the Kurdistan Democratic Party confirmed today, Monday, that the two Kurdish parties are going to agree on a candidate for the presidency. The State Administration Alliance will be announced soon, noting that the two Kurdish parties are partners in the alliance. The two Kurdish parties are going to agree on a candidate for the presidency, although he has not announced any official agreement yet, noting that when both parties are in one coalition, which is the coalition of the state administration, to form the next government, this confirms that the mechanisms of understanding has been reached about the presidential election. He also stated that the most prominent understanding issues between Baghdad and Erbil, which must be agreed upon to form a government, are the draft oil and gas laws, Article 140, the budget, administrative boundaries, and Peshmerga entitlements, in addition to legal legislation for the Federation Council. He indicated that the cabinet deserves the share of the Shiite compound, and they are the ones who chose a candidate for the position with consensus of the rest of the parties, explaining that everyone does not care about the person as much as they care about the government program and his vision about building a state. Gee, who didn't see this coming? We knew that in order for the Kurds to agree with anything that the coordinated framework wanted to do, one of the things that have to be ironed out is the draft oil and gas laws. After what the Supreme Court did, they want to make sure that their rights to their oil is theirs without any court say-so. So that has to be agreed upon before they can even agree to any type of coalition. This should be no surprise. The day before the parliamentary session, concrete blocks encircle the green zone. Of course they are. They're getting ready to go into parliament. You're going to have protesters galore trying to stop it or interfere. Said the Iraqi security authorities reinforced on Monday evening the fortification of the governmental green zone, with additional concrete blocks hours before the parliament resumed work and held a parliamentary session. Reinforcements from the concrete blocks were lined up in front of the legislation and planning gates leading to the green zone, noting that the Ministry of Planning gate was completely closed. So I think these people are preparing for civil unrest. It almost sounds like they're trying to move forward without Sadr, which I don't think is a good idea. But they can't get anything accomplished anyways. We know that the United States loves corrupt politicians. We know their support appears to be with Maliki. Once again, the article continues, this comes in conjunction with the possibility of holding a parliamentary session, which was officially announced today by the media department of the House of Representatives on Wednesday afternoon. with an agenda that includes voting on the resignation of Parliament Speaker Halabasi from his position, in addition to electing the first vice president. The Shiite Coordinating Framework welcomed today, Monday, the decision of the Speaker of Parliament, Halabasi, to resume the work of Parliament and set next Wednesday as the date for holding a session, while calling on the Kurds forces to resolve their candidate for the presidency, welcoming at the same time the participation of all national forces, especially the current Sadr, in dialogues, government formation, and state administration. So again, there's like 1/3 blocking the coordinating framework from moving forward, just like they did themselves. So is it possible they can get the blocking third to agree with them and move forward and form this government? It really depends on the concessions that were promised. Halabasi cites his justification for resigning position are a mandate, not an honor. So Halabasi explained on Monday the reasons for submitting his resignation to Parliament. So there are people out there that say that it's just all for show. He submitted it, doesn't mean it's going to be approved. It could be rejected. And that would be Halabasi's way of trying to drum up new support to try to redeem himself. Since Halabasi said in a symposium held by the Al Rafidian Forum, which was followed by the news, it was assumed that the Parliament session before the 40th visit, despite the events that accompanied the demonstrations, would postpone the sessions until after the visit for understanding. He added, it was assumed that the Parliament session would be held on September 20th, and the Prime Minister, Al-Kadhimi, requested to postpone the sessions due to security precautions. Halabasi, I submitted my resignation and did not trade it with anyone, noting that the positions are a mandate, not an honor, and whoever receives the positions must know the importance of the stage. He pointed out that the trends of the House of Representatives differed by 180 degrees. We have to start a new phase, and I give the right to members of the Parliament to express their opinion on the resignation. He pointed out that this year that has passed is the most difficult year in his life, in which political problems have been reflected on the masses of political parties. He stressed that the resignation step will not hinder the convening of the sessions, and I respect the opinion of the Parliament, and I will not impose my presence on the members of Parliament. Halabasi explained that I did not discuss with anyone the issues of resignation, and everyone from the political forces must open up. And what we are going through is dangerous, for exceptions have become the basis for the administration of the state. Yeah, they're really in a bad position. They're in a serious deadlock, and it's already coming up on 1 year since the elections. You can't get the courts to dissolve Parliament. They refuse to get involved. You can't dissolve the Parliament unless you have a session, and you have a large portion of the representatives refusing to take part. It's the craziest thing ever. We respect the choices of the components, and we are committed to the agreement with the parties that will form the government. On a personal level, I've known Al-Sandin, and I saw nothing but positive from him. Regarding salaries for the year 2023, Halabasi said the current government cannot spend the year 2023 according to the 1/12 principle, and there is no legal outlet for the payment of salaries next year if the budget law is not legislated. So now they're talking about being on a time clock here. If they can't get anything passed and the government formed, nobody gets paid. What would happen before is if a budget didn't get passed, they would do this 1/12 principle. In other words, it'd be month by month, and the budget that they would follow would be the prior years. In this case, apparently after the year has passed, that's it. Nobody's getting paid. I'm pretty confident that we're going to see some things get accomplished, especially if we're talking about people's money. So this article here is about the coordinating framework and their response to Halabasi, saying that he was terrible, he didn't do his job. You know, they're not fans of his because Halabasi is an alliance of Sadr, not the coordinating framework. So little by little, those who are influential and have the power to stop the coordinating framework appear to be resigning out of office, leaving less hurdles for the coordinating framework to overcome, and now allowing for the Kurdish parties to possibly join the coordinating framework. As long as the coordinating framework agrees to give the Kurds back their oil, we'll see if that's a steep enough price when the time comes. But for the most part, that's about it. Not a whole lot else. So yeah, Halabasi's resignation is big news. So now they are without Halabasi and without solder. This is probably why you're seeing the concrete blocks being placed in the green zone. I'm waiting to hear what the announcement is of the presidency and if they're going to be able to move forward to form a government. Let me know what you guys think. I look forward to your comments, and I will catch you later. I'm out.